Have you ever woke up in the middle of a dream and the dream was so interesting that you wanted to go back to sleep to see the end of it? If so, what was the dream? Please like, subscribe, share and leave a comment. Was exploring a jungle with a group of, I assume, friends. We ended up discovering some kind of temple, but it was dark, so we decided to set up camp. I was charged with gathering dry wood and leaves for the fire, while macheting my way through vines. I heard my name being screamed by one of the group members in a terrified way, repeatedly. Woke up to see my mum yelling my name and to get the F up already. I never found out what that temple was. Edit. I have never watched any adventure movies like Indiana Jones or Jumanji, nor have I played any Uncharted game. This is going to sound crazy, but I had a dream exactly like that, and one of the people in the camp went missing, but it continued and we found out there were jaguars in the area. I'm not joking about this at all. Same dream, and I've had it multiple times. We're exploring after finding the temple, I guess. It was always a very obviously ancient but important ruin that we had to explore. I get tasked with finding brush or twigs or dry wood. I'm walking around and I just hear the scariest shrill. I run and a man is there. He ties me to a barbecue/grill and asks me to pick a war. I wake up. Edit. Almost every time I've had this dream, I've thought the scream was from my little sister, even though I show up and no one except the man and the grill and some wolves are there. Edit. I like people's interpretations that these are all dreams that might relate back to a more nomadic or caveman times. But pick a war! I still wonder all the time what that could mean. What if, when we dream, we get queued up and matched with other dreamers online and share dreams? Estimated wait time, 47 minutes 51 seconds. Matchmaking server, Antarctica. A few months before I got married, I had a dream where Bill Murray was attending my wedding and asked to make a toast. I happily agreed. Then, before I could hear the toast, I woke up. Bill Murray is a national treasure. I once dreamt that all of my family and closest friends were on the world's largest cruise ship. Along the way, we somehow were exposed to radioactive waste that gave us all superpowers or other mutations. I remember so vividly being able to use my mind to move objects with ease, and I threw donuts at my brother, whose skin had turned as hard as stone. This one girl on the cruise that we were all universally hated for reasons I can't remember, received a really random and useless mutation. She grew a really fat lizard tail, like a leopard gecko who had eaten a lot. Lol. She was crying about how ugly she was now, and all we could do was laugh. Then I woke up. When I wake up in the morning, I usually have 30 more minutes before I have to actually get out of bed. If I'm having a dream before I wake up and I go back to sleep, I can usually continue the dream. Last night, I had a dream that I was in some kind of resort/Jurassic Park-like area. I went back to sleep this morning and managed to get into a relationship with a pretty hot dude who was also working at the resort. It's like Hollywood forgot to take down the set. I learned I could fly, but I had to teach myself. Woke up right as I was gearing for the big test to see how high I could go. Forced myself back to sleep, and let me tell you, flying in a dream is way too effing fun. Lol, I had a similar dream, but it had its weird mechanics. Like I couldn't just run and fly, I had to run, jump and kick out like I was laying down to fly, and I could control it by tilting myself forward or back. Lol. Anyways, I was showing my friends when they get angry because they can't do it, so they start throwing rocks at me, so I start flying higher and higher to get away, but I panic because I'm scared of heights, and then I wake up. Best and one of the worst dreams because I'm scared of heights. In my head, I think I fell and died because I couldn't remember how to lower myself. Not one single dream, but I'll often dream that I've met a girl that I'm madly in love with, and when I wake up I feel like I've lost a soulmate. Really strange and sort of depressing. I've had the same feeling, like an actual emotionally strong developed bond just disappears very slowly as you wake up. I had this dream when I was in college, but I didn't just meet the girl. In this one dream, in one night, we lived a whole life. 3 kids, dream family. I don't remember if she died in the dream or if I just woke up randomly, but I was mentally out of it for days. It legitimately felt like I had woken up in the past rather than the present. I've had the same dream almost. Family, kids, a whole life I've lived. In the dream, my mum died. I planned her funeral, got her affairs in order, and then buried her. Got through her death with the help of my wife, and continued to live my life. Then one day, I kissed my kids goodnight and went to bed. Woke up in my childhood home, confused and disorientated. Walked into the kitchen, and there's Mum making breakfast. I just froze. Didn't talk to her for days after, being that's how long it took me to accept it was a dream. That stuff happened almost 20 years ago, and I still think about my family. I used to have lucid dreams in my early to mid-20s. As soon as I'd realise I was asleep, I'd start flying or just rising to the ceiling because it was a cool way to test it. Then my immediate thought would be, who should I pretend to sleep with? And the excitement over that possibility woke me up every damn time. If you come in your dreams, you come in real life. I've had exactly one wet dream in my life, and it was incredible. I'm a woman, but I have them semi-often. Is it still called a wet dream if you're a lady? Waking up mid-orgasm really is incredible, especially if I can fall back to sleep after. Seems like it'd be a lot nicer as a woman. As a man, I somehow managed to get my hand on my penis right as I'm waking up and ejaculating. So now I've woken up from a sexy dream, but it's ruined because I'm annoyed with a handful of semen that I have to get up in the middle of the night to get rid of and clean up. I was friends with Jesus in the modern day, and he was sound, not preachy, one of the lads like. A long time ago, I had a dream that there were ghosts living in my family's garage. Nowhere else, just the garage. I somehow became friends with one, but she was unable to speak to me, leave the property that house was on, and wasn't able to show any facial expressions that wouldn't be considered terrifying. Me and my ghost friend were playing on the house porch, and two guys were trying to break into the house. She tried to stop them by scaring the living heck out of them by making a terrifying face and screaming the most blood-curdling scream ever right in their faces. I wasn't able to see the face she made, but I somehow knew it was there, and all I could hear was the scream. The people trying to rob the house ran off, but instead of celebrating, I curled up and started crying because that's how terrifying the scream was. I absolutely loved that ghost, and I forgot that her whole purpose was to scare people, but she did it to protect me and the house. I still cried though, and she tried to cheer me up the best way she could. Then I woke up. I knew that was a dream, but I didn't want to leave my ghost friend alone, knowing the last time she saw me was when she scared me to tears by accident. I tried to go back to sleep, and I did, and I somehow successfully re-entered the dream, only it was several years in the future. The garage still had a couple of ghosts in it, but not nearly as much, and the rest seemed to be oblivious to humans. I was going into the attic and I found some pictures in there of me around the age I was friends with the ghost. And on a picture I saw a very faint image of her face standing next to me. I went down the attic and woke up. I didn't get to tell the ghost that I forgive her or anything, and I still feel some sort of emotional attachment to her. It was probably the best nightmare I've ever had, and one of the dreams I've wanted to go back to the most, just so I can tell her that there are no hard feelings. I died in one of my dreams, so that was startling, but I was dead for a good 15 seconds or so in my dreams, so that was interesting to say the least. I die in my dreams all the time. I usually just end up in spectator mode. I think I've been playing too many video games. What's the respawn time? I had a nightmare a couple of years back, and I still remember some bits. I was in a city where there was an outbreak of a disease. Infected people start leaking black stuff from their eyes and noses and attack non-infected people. For some reason, I was walking in part of the city that was completely deserted a couple of days after the outbreak. Very faintly, I heard someone crying. I approached and found out that it came from a backyard. If I wanted to see who it was, I had to climb a high fence. When I walked into the backyard, I was effing horrified. There was a crying little kid, like 3 years old, on a leash, tied to a pole. I didn't dare to approach because that child was leaking phallic stuff from the nose. I woke up after this and was still horrified. The parents had to leave their child, who was still alive, chained to a pole outside. That effed me up for a couple of days. I would watch this movie. I had one this morning. I'm a heavy sleeper, and whatever goes around me tends to get in my dreams. It's a curse at times, but this morning I had an Amber Alert at 3:30 AM. And my dream went from being okay to my friends getting incinerated by a nuke. I was the only one that survived, but by the time I was about to leave the bunker to see the devastation, I woke up turning off the alert. It was a dream where there were no debts, no stress, no pressure, no boss, no monotonous job, no homework. Oh, you wanted details? I have no idea. I just remember the weightlessness of being stress-free. And being in a hardware store? Playing bumper cars with Voldemort, surrounded by Laffy Taffy, I wish I was kidding. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Cheers!